With one simple prompt, I was able to create this content repurposing tool to save time with content creation. So if you're a creator who wants to save time, stick around to the end so you can see how I created this tool using Claude Code. And by the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Lewis. I make YouTube videos on content creation using Claude. So with that, let's get started. So the easiest way to start out with something like this would be to plan it out first. So what I did was I went into Claude Cowork, started a new chat here, and I have it set to a folder. You can just create a folder. You can do it however you want, but I made it easier for myself, so I created a folder called Sites. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke the caveman skill first, set it to Ultra, just to save on some tokens. And then what you'll do is you'll paste in, you can create like a really easy prompt. I just created, let me grab this prompt here really quickly, and I'll show you how easy it is. You can just put in a small prompt like this. So this is going to be a standalone tool, HTML, that'll run locally on on your device, on something like this that you could use to generate the content. There's also a version you could build like an API call, which is a little bit more sophisticated. But since this is a beginner one, I'm going to start out with, also with just Sonnet 4.6, which is also a lower model. Opus 4.8 is obviously the higher model as of now because the other one was banned, Fable 5. So I'll start out with this one, and I put in this framework here, make it a standalone HTML. No API calls. It has a template engine and a full library system built out. So once I send this off, it's going to go ahead and build out the prompt for Claude Code. So once it's finished, I will be back to show you the result. So here's the result that it came up with. And you can see right here, this is the plan. It's got 4 layers. It's showing parser, template engine, library system, and UI. So it even shows you what it's going to build. It's got the data models, the file structure as the HTML. So here are the templates, Xthread, Instagram, TikTok. So what you could do if you wanted is you could actually refine this, that's the whole purpose of planning it out. You can just tell it, no, take away this feature, add this feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just tell it, build out the full prompt as a markdown file that I can use in Claude Code. So what I'll do is I'll take the markdown and I'll upload it into Claude Code, and I'll just give it instructions, build out this tool that is in the prompt that I have uploaded, or something to that degree. So go ahead and send this off and see what it comes up with. So as you can see, it is done, and this is the result here. And it's a pretty comprehensive prompt, which is the reason it's easier to build it into a markdown file that then you could just upload into Claude Code, because if you try to grab this and copy this, it's just, you could do it obviously, but it's just easier as like a file to put into Claude Code so it can actually know what to build. So it gives you the architecture, the file structure, data miles. Say that right. Sorry, I meant data models, not data miles. All right, let's go. Template engine model, library module. So there's a ton of stuff. Built-in default templates, got 10 of them. Again, you can edit this if you want, however you want, depending on what you want to build. But for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to make a kind of like a beginner guide for people just starting out with Claude Code. You can build these tools and they'll help you create content a lot faster. It's got the whole UI here, sidebar, input panel, token panel, template editor, UX details, visual design. So what you would do is, and it actually has the build order here, you can see too, it's going to build all this from 1 to 16 in order. And then it's got the edge cases, and the deliverable at the end, it's going to give you just an index.html file. So the way you would see this, if you wanted to find it, is you would open folder, and it would be here, and you would grab that and you would put it into Claude Code. So just for an example, I'll show you. I'm gonna be using Claude Code inside of the desktop app here, because the desktop app is just all in one, just for purposes of this video. I may make other videos later on. I use VS Code mostly, and sometimes Antigravity as the way that I use Claude Code to build things. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and I'm going to go ahead and use that prompt. By the way, you see this dashboard every time you use Claude Code within the Claude desktop app. They try to be funny here. So like if you click models and you click overview, every time you switch back and forth between this, there's a different sentence here. You've used 15x more tokens in Lord of the Rings. Click back and it says something else, Pride and Prejudice. Shows you the model, shows you, the favorite model that you use, all your basically all your usage. Down here on the bottom right, you can change the effort. I'm going to leave it at high for now. And I have the model set to Sonnet 4.6, like I was saying earlier, just to make it easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click the plus and add the file. And this is the content repurposer prompt. And I'm going to add that in. And what I'll do is I'll put in this prompt, build the tool inside the prompt that I have uploaded, follow the directions to spec, ask any questions along the way if needed. So this is just a simple way of doing it. This would pretty much work for anyone trying to build a tool like this, because these are just simple standalone HTML tools. And I will go ahead and I will send this off and I will show you the results and if it asks me any questions. So it's actually asking me if it can actually write the file itself right here. Allow Claude to write content repurposer-tool.html. You can do always allow, you can do allow once, or you can click deny. I'm going to go ahead and hit allow once, and then it's going to go ahead and start. And as you can see, it invoked this front-end design skill, and it thought for about 9 or 10 minutes before it started actually creating the tool itself. The tool is actually finished, and it gives you that a verified dark mode library model open, shows all 10 templates. So it's actually giving you where it is right here. And it also has what's working, and it shows all the different features. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go in the folder and find where it is so I can show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It came up with this style. Left here is where the input is. Right hand side is where the template would be the output of whatever template you want. So like right here you can see Twitter, LinkedIn, and actually, yeah, this is at 140%. I was going to say I'll make this bigger. Somebody can't see it. Sometimes when I put stuff on the browser, it's kind of small for these videos. It's got newsletter, cold email, TikTok. It's got this auto parse button, which means when you paste it in, you don't even have to click parse. It'll just parse it for you. You can change stuff here. Like you could take this out. I'll give you I'll show you real quick. So what I'll do is I'll paste this in. This was an old post that I had on LinkedIn when I started building the school community. And it's got Twitter here. That's what I selected. So if you have auto parse on, it'll just automatically do it, which is fine too. I'll hit parse and render. So then it came up with this. And what is cool is you could just copy it like this here. Or if you want to copy it, you just click the copy button. You could save it. You could download it as a text. And when you hit save, it'll save it to like history. And you can come in here. And I did one earlier too, just to test it out. So you would hit load and you could load it back in. It's also got light mode right here, dark mode. I prefer dark mode because it's easier on the eyes. And as far as library, these templates, which are on the left side, you can create your own. Like if you hit new template, you can put whatever, whatever type of template you want. You can do like a custom one, or just for some other platform that's not actually listed on here. Same thing, you just fill in all the information and then you save it. You can also go in and you can duplicate Twitter. So if you want like another type of Twitter thread specifically that you want, you can just duplicate it. You can export stuff, you can import it. You can import the whole entire history and the custom templates. So these are just little features that this built out. And it's a pretty decent standalone tool, I would say, for doing this. You could go deeper than this by creating a section that has like settings and like for API, and you can enter in your API key. And even though it's just local, it'll still use your API key, and it only sends it to whichever provider, whether it be, OpenAI or Anthropic or Google, whichever one you want to use. So I'm thinking of making a video on how to build a simple tool like this that has API functionality. But as for now, this is for beginners, and this is pretty cool for someone who wants to just do something basic to see if they could build something in Claude Code. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and link this tool down in the description so anybody could download it. That's an HTML, and just run it on your local device, whether it be a laptop, desktop PC, whatever, and you can test it out for yourself. I'm also building a school community called Simple Content Collective. It's for people who want to learn how to use Claude for content creation, how to speed up their content creation using Claude. I will link that school in the description. And real quick, as a side note, you could add some more functionality to this by having it let you save or export as like a PDF or a document file, like a Word doc, or even slides. So that's something else that you could think about if you're building out something like this. You could just keep adding to it. And just quickly to show you, this used about 30% of a 5-hour here, a 5-hour session. Mine resets in about 3.5 hours, but just to give you an idea of what's going on with the token usage in a, kind of like a medium model like that. So hopefully this gave you some idea of what you could start to build in Claude Code. Especially for beginners, you could build out some tools that can help you save time, like that one that I showed you in repurposing content. So hopefully this helped you. And with that, I will end this one, and I will see you in the next one.